I told you I had a lot of Canucks topics saved up, eh? Today we're taking a look at an article written in The Province by Ben Kuzma talking about Brock Boeser and confidence. This is something that once I saw the tweet go up about this specific article, I clicked on it and I was like, okay, that's a really interesting quote to attach right at the beginning of the article, and I think it tells a whole lot about Brock Boeser. But before we get into all of that, let's go over the story of Brock Boeser thus far and how the fans perceive him in comparison to how he was perceived in the past. If you've been following this channel for long enough, you'd know that I make videos after the majority of Vancouver Canucks games that go on in the regular season. I talk about the games immediately after, I upload it immediately after if there's a good result, if there's a marketable headline to go along with the game. And throughout the past year, we've been talking more and more about guys like Quinn Hughes and JT Miller and Elias Pettersson and Markstrom, and less about guys like Brock Boeser. Boeser was a guy that I actually talked about so much in the past, back when I was in my senior year of high school in grade 12, 2017-2018. This is when Boeser made his debut with the Vancouver Canucks. He had 29 goals, and he was such an up-and-away dynamite kind of player for the Vancouver Canucks. The best player on the team, and somebody that captivated the entire city with a few spectacular performances here and there. Brock Boeser in his rookie year was an absolute crazy sniper. He had the confidence of a YouTube vlogger preparing himself to step into a boxing ring with another YouTube vlogger and recording himself doing all the trash talking 2 weeks beforehand. He was a confident guy out there, getting his wrist shot, not thinking about it, just unloading the puck towards the goal and scoring many beautiful snipes. And I'm starting to get all nostalgic and upset thinking about it because Brock Boeser hasn't really been that same way ever since coming back from a few injuries. Boeser. However, this article from Ben Kuzma goes over what exactly Boeser has been doing this past season and how he has kind of gone through a mental reform as to changing the way he perceives the game and himself. The quote that starts off this article reads, "Confidence is a big thing, and that was probably the least confident I've been in the NHL, or maybe in my whole hockey career. I'm still young and learning, and I'm in the NHL for a reason," Brock Boeser says. He talked about this in regards to how this past season has shaped up, where he has gone through very big, large scoring slumps, where he has missed a whole bunch of chances, and where the lethality of the Brock Boeser wrist shot that we saw in his rookie year hasn't been there throughout the past few months. Now, those last few months were highlighted by a quick return before the season paused up. A lot of Vancouver Canucks fans thought that the Boeser returning after Toffoli got traded for at the end of the season pretty much was kind of unnecessary and that he was kind of rushed because Brock Boeser was coming off of a rib injury and it takes a long time for those kinds of things to recover. However, though, in the offseason, or at least the pre-playoffs, pre-play-in series off-season, I guess, Boeser has been going back at it and working on his game. A lot of it is just getting back to playing and using my instincts, and it got me to where I am today. And I'm just trying to feel like that again. Kuzma does a good job of describing it over here in the article. Boeser finds his sweet shooting spot on the face-off dot, picks his target, and releases a hard and accurate shot without hesitancy. At his worst, he thinks too much. And I think those two final sentences kind of sum up why exactly Boeser has been not as effective as before in terms of the goal-scoring side of things of his game. He's been effective elsewhere. He awakened this new playmaking style to his game this past season. But the lethal American sniper Brock Boeser has not really been the same. And a lot of that has to do with him holding onto the puck too long, him looking at the net for a little bit too long without taking a shot, him loading up and trying to pick his spot a little bit too closely, and shooting it over the net, or missing the net entirely, or whiffing on it and having it bounce off a stick in front or something. Boeser needs to get rid of that mind block. He needs to get rid of that hesitancy, and he needs to just absolutely grip it and rip it, in the words of Elias Pettersson. The confidence thing is important, and Boeser says that he and Travis Green even talked about it. He's still young and learning, and he's in the NHL for a reason. Boeser also says that JT Miller has done a very, very big part in helping him overcome that barrier, and that's something that I'm really not surprised to hear. JT Miller has been a very vocal leader on and off the ice as a Vancouver Canuck, and it's been very prevalent throughout the past season that he does that. JT is vocal, and that helps a lot. It's just seeing the pride he takes in all areas of the game. I have high expectations to produce, and it's been a learning thing for me. It's how you approach things when you come to the rink each day. This whole season, this whole part of his season where he wasn't scoring, was my first big slump in the NHL, and you really can't let it get to you mentally. I probably had 10 or 11 grade A chances where I didn't score. If I put in the extra time and keep working from those spots, 4 or 5 maybe go in, and that is a big difference. Just take a look at Boeser's goal and point production over the past 3 seasons. Sure, last year and the year before that he had the same amount of points, but the goal scoring kinda trailed off in more games. This past season, though, Brock Boeser had 45 points in 57 games. It's a pretty similar points per game rate, but not necessarily exactly the same, but he only had 16 goals. His goal scoring has been diminishing, but the more well-rounded two-way playmaking style that he was able to use and play alongside of guys like Elias Pettersson and JT Miller, it kind of racked him up more on the assists column rather than the goal-scoring column. And it's great to see him getting that side of his game a little bit more developed and a little bit more refined, a little bit more effective. It's just knowing what he can be as a sniper. That, to me, is the most interesting part, because if you take the Boeser who can get a whole bunch of assists and set guys up like he has this season, and you add the skill set of a rookie American sniper Brock Boeser, all of a sudden you have a player who is a very, very, very strong contender to get 30, 35, maybe even 40 goals in a year. That is something that I've been looking forward to ever since Boeser wrapped up his first season, but at 23 years of age, we've had to wait a little bit for that side of him to come out again. However, Boeser says that training alongside of guys like Nick Leddy, TJ Oshie, Justin Falk, and JT Brown, it's huge and is going to help a lot. He was rusty his first skate, because he is skating in Minnesota, and it was feeling like I forgot to shoot the puck and stick handle. But now I'm really feeling good. And that's ultimately what we want from Brock Boeser. Comfort, confidence, and an ability to play at the best level he has ever played at. So, come the play-in series against his own hometown Minnesota Wild, we may see a different kind of Brock Boeser. Not just a Boeser who is rested from his injuries, who is finally recovered after months and months of taking some time off and allowing your body to heal, but maybe even next season, we see a reawakening of Brock Boeser. I know it's been a topic that I've been bringing up intermittently throughout the season, talking about, the American sniper Brock Boeser, he is finally back and in full effect? But at the same time, hearing the words come from his own mouth and saying, yes, he acknowledges that the mental block throughout the past season has been tough, but admitting that he's been taking steps towards improving that, and he feels now that he is in the best state mentally to play hockey, it's a great sign, and I can't wait to see what Brock Boeser is going to become soon. So I highly recommend you read Ben Kuzma's article on the province. It's a very good, well-written article that goes over the Brock Boeser story and how this whole confidence thing plays into that story. I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment down below what you think about Brock Boeser, what you think he is going to do in the play-in series, what you think he is going to do next year, and how you think he projects long-term. Socially, and bye.